Hello everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. I'm back. I'm back from an 8-day trip in Japan and boy was it terrible timing for me to leave the US because so much happened in terms of news, drama, and as well as just a ton of events. I missed a Collecticon that was happening right here in Las Vegas. That would have been a ton of fun to attend to. A ton of my content creator peers and other Pokemon card collectors came to Collecticon Las Vegas and I was just unfortunately not here to greet and say hi to a lot of them, which is just a really sad time. But I really enjoy my time in Japan, so I'll be covering that in today's episode. What are the card prices like in Japan? Is the state of the Pokemon card market in Japan, and what can you expect to find or enjoy there if you're looking to go somewhere in the next 6 to 24 months. So I think that will be really important information. And the other big piece is there's obviously a ton of Poke drama happening right now in the hobby, and I am a huge fan of just drama in general. I love a nice hot cup of tea. While I don't make content revolving around drama, I love intaking it. I'm a huge fan of just good tea in general, so I'll consume that content. And obviously I've been in part of my share of controversies as well. There's been a ton of different controversies happening in the hobby right now, so I figured we'll just make a quick segment talking about some of them. Poke drama, love it or hate it, Poke drama is absolutely here to stay, and that's just how the meta has developed, and that is a very natural course for things to go towards. So if you're not a fan of it, if you think it's super weird for content creators to have drama, then that's completely fine. I absolutely get that, because there's a side of the hobby that's like, oh my god, who cares? Let's just go back to talking about the cards, but that's just how the meta is going to develop. I will tell you, 5 years ago, there was no such thing as Pokemon card content creator drama. That just straight up did not exist. There was just Pokemon card content, but that's how the meta is going to naturally develop, is that as there are more and more content creators in the space, as there are more voices in the space, things are going to naturally go towards a direction where some voices are going to have disagreements with each other, and the content will rise where instead of now talking about Pokemon cards, we're now talking about our opinions on Pokemon cards and disagreeing or agreeing with each other's opinion, more time than not disagreeing. Because if you agree with someone's opinion, you end up not doing anything with that information, but you disagree with someone, you end up making content about that. So that's how meta drama and meta content ends up developing naturally in the space, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. In fact, I think that's going to grow a lot in the space, is that there's going to be more Poke drama or Pokemon meta content, which is content not around the cards themselves, but around other fringe cases where we're not just discussing things such as Coop's Collectibles making their own custom cards and signing it and selling it. We're talking about Jason Page trading his own custom card to a couple of kids for their Gengar card. That broke the news for a while. We're talking about Jar Chomp Collectibles and Oyama Tradings with their own vending course. And we're going to talk about my own current drama, which is that in the previous episode of Off the Top, we talked about how mystery slabs are kind of taking over the hobby in terms of their slab consumption. A lot of mystery slab companies are out there, a lot of them, like 100 different mystery slab company. There's a couple of large players in the space, but there's a ton of smaller players. Everyone from like the smallest vendor to large content creators are doing their own versions of mystery slabs. And obviously I just talked about how that was taking over the hobby. People don't actually disagree with that specific take. I think they disagree with who's messaging that take, which is me. And that's mainly because I promote my own mystery slabs, and I have been a longtime promoter of mystery slabs in general. I'm a little bit of a degen where I actually enjoy a good mystery slab, but I think that's why I make a good messenger, is because I know the space very, very well. So we're going to start off with the basic, which is, Jake, isn't it really hypocritical of you to be critiquing mystery slabs when you also promote mystery slabs? And I would say no. If you know me, you know that for the longest time, ever since the start of my channel, I have been a huge fan of mystery slabs. If anyone thinks I hate mystery slabs, that is not true. I absolutely love mystery slabs. I love a good mystery slabs. Where the hobby has been moving towards is a lot of junk mystery slabs. There are just a ton of junk mystery slab companies companies out there, and I have well documented a ton of just poor value one. For instance, I recently ripped open some GameStop power packs, which were $150, and inside I found like a $20 junk slab. If you buy something for $150, there should be zero potential of you getting a $20 value out of that product. That is terrible value. I love a well-designed mystery product, which is why we actually designed our own version on the Card Lounge podcast. This was our most recent version, which sold for $100, and we sold out of these very quickly. It comes with 10 booster packs, one of which is a guaranteed Mega Dream booster pack, as well as you get yourself a guaranteed PSA 10, and we sold these for $100, and these were really good value. In fact, if we wanted to repeat and redo this mystery product, we cannot do it at $100. It's just not possible. These were done right at the margin of what is potentially possible for $100. So I want to make sure that I created a well-designed mystery product. And I will say that I designed this mystery product and I stand by it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a ton of fun, and I think it was incredibly good value. And if we wanted to repeat it, we would not be able to repeat it because of how the state of the Pokemon card market has moved well beyond that. But this is an example of a really good mystery slab product. 10 mystery booster packs, a guaranteed Mega Dream booster pack, and a guaranteed PSA 10. The PSA 10 is a mystery, but the value is really obviously there. Like the low value that you can get out of this mystery pack, like the worst PSA 10 that we had, the total value of this product would still range for right around like $70 to $80. And on the top end, the high value pulls that you could get out of our mystery slab, this was basically valued at probably like $400 on the top end. So that was a very strong mystery slab option. We made it very clear where things land. And that, I think, is a good mystery slab. So I want to make it very clear and transparent. I do not hate mystery slabs. I actually love mystery slabs. So if someone thinks that I am a hypocrite for critiquing mystery slabs when I promote my own, I just want you to know I don't hate mystery slabs. I've always been a fan of them as long as they are a good product. I'm a fan of a good product, and I hate poor mystery slab products, and there are a ton of those out there. If I promote something, it's because I really enjoy that mystery product and I stand by it. I would not promote something that I don't stand behind. So that's my take when it comes to mystery products, is that there's just a ton of them out there, and they're consuming a ton of the portion of the hobby that wants those products, and they would not exist if people weren't buying them. So I want people to vote with their wallet. If you don't want these to exist in the hobby, don't buy them. That's really straightforward. If you don't enjoy these products, don't buy them. But they are probably here to stay because mystery products have been around for as long as Pokemon cards have been around. Really, well, I mean, mystery products exist even before Pokemon cards, but they're not going to leave the hobby, especially because they are ingrained in the hobby for the longest time. Even 8, 9, 10 years ago, there were plenty of mystery products. They're here to stay. They're just taking up way larger space in the hobby, and I think that's really clear. And that's mainly just because a lot of people are buying them. Whether you and I like or disagree on that, a lot of people are buying mystery products. And I'm going to continue to design well-done mystery products. I think I should draw the line in the sand and saying, hey, I'm going to give you a great example of what a strong mystery product is, and you should not go for less. If a mystery product is giving you less value than what I'm providing, then that's probably not a good mystery product. If TwicebakedJake is able to make this product and make it work, and well, we barely made a profit on these, if any at all. These were like right on the line of the margin. But if these are possible, then that should be where the line is drawn in the sand in terms of what you can expect from a good mystery product. So if there's something out there that is way less value than that, then you know that is a bad one, because we're trying to give you a good example of what a good mystery product should look like. Moving on to my trip in Japan, I know that there's a lot of other Pokedrama hitting the hobby right now, and maybe you guys would enjoy my take on them. Unfortunately, I am not a Pokedrama content creator, and I don't want to enter that arena. My goal is really to make good Pokemon card collecting content for you guys and make sure that you are equipped with the best information that you have so that you can enjoy your own collecting journey. So I want to give you guys information and you guys make your own decision. So I don't want to enter the drama arena. I know there's a lot of other Pokedrama right now. If I think it's something that I really want to give my take on, I might do a short on it. But right now, I think that what we've given is good enough. And there's plenty of other fantastic Pokemon card drama channel that if you guys want to follow them. I think that they'll give you guys a really awesome takes. So what is currently happening right now in Japan? What did I basically saw? Right now in Japan, Pokemon card products are incredibly dry. If you're looking to go to Japan and buy some Pokemon cards at really affordable prices, you are going to have a terrible time. I visited a lot of card shops. In my 8 days in Japan, I visited 5 Pokemon centers as well as probably 30 to 40 different hobbies and trading card shops. And the prices on Pokemon cards there are egregious. They are incredibly expensive right now. I saw a 151 Elite Trainer box selling for $900. That is a secondary market price, and that is absolutely insane. It's still not a product that is available in Japan because it's an English product, but $900 for a 151 ETB is very expensive right now. It was impossible to find any Pokemon cards at affordable prices outside of the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center does offer Pokemon cards, and every single one that I went to did provide me with some Pokemon booster packs. They did not provide me with a ton of booster packs. Some Pokemon Center limited it to as low as 2 booster packs of Chaos Rising and 2 booster packs of Abyss Eye. There were some Pokemon Center that had no booster packs of Abyss Eye, and they only had Chaos Rising available. Some of them had both available, and the amount of booster packs that you can get from each one would range from between the low end, which is 2 booster packs per customer, all the way up to the high end, which I saw, which was 5 booster packs per customer. The best Pokemon Center I went to was the Tokyo Station Pokemon Center, and that one offered 5 booster packs of Chaos Rising and 5 booster packs of Abyss Eye. So 10 booster packs in total was the maximum that I was allowed out of any Pokemon Center, which is, again, not a lot of booster packs, and no booster boxes were available. The secondary market prices on singles were egregiously high. Do not expect to go to Japan and buy singles of any like niche Pokemon cards for a good price. There were some prices that were competitive to English prices if you go to like a card show or something of that nature, but those were few and far between, and those were mainly for PSA 10 cards. Because in Japan, they value singles really highly. Not a ton of people collect slabs in Japan. Most people collect singles rather than slabs, and the raw singles were insanely expensive. They were close to the prices of PSA 10 because they really value their raw prices. I could not find prices in Japan that were cheaper than the US. In fact, a lot of times I could just go and buy Chaos Rising and Abyss Eye in the US for a cheaper price than what was available in Japan. So what did I pick up in Japan? I was actually not looking for a ton of Pokemon cards. We visited a ton of Pokemon card shops, and if there were cheap and valuable products there, I would have absolutely picked it up. But I didn't buy a single Pokemon card in Japan. The only thing that we got was Pokemon Center booster packs, which were at retail price, and I think we were able to get a total of like 30 booster packs. So that's how much of Pokemon card products I got. What I was able to get was a ton of products that I just could not get over here in the US. And I think if you're going to Japan, that is where you should stick to, which is the products that you cannot find in the US. Even if you wanted to, you cannot find. So I'm gonna give you some example. I picked up a ton of exclusive Game Boy games that are not available over here in the US. We got ourselves the Japanese version of Pokemon Red, which I think is super cool. I got this one from Mandarake, and the price on it was $180 US. So I think that's really solid for a very clean copy of the original Game Boy Pokemon Red game. We also got ourselves Pokemon Yellow. We got ourselves actually the complete set, and this one cost me like $80. $80 for a really nice version and copy of the original Pokemon Yellow Game Boy game. That is a fantastic deal. The whole entire price of all of these Game Boy games, I think I spent like $600 in total, and we got a ton of them. So again, these are products that I would say you should be on the lookout for, because even if you wanted these in the US, they are incredibly hard to come by, and you're not going to get them for the same price as the one in Japan. So these are still really, really good value rather than the cards. And so I picked up some of those, and I picked up a ton of other cards that were not Pokemon cards. We picked up a ton of um, Hololive cards. We picked up a ton of Godzilla cards. We picked up a ton of TCGs that are not available over here in the US because they straight up just don't exist. So that was really cool. Some other things that I picked up some first edition manga. We got ourselves One Piece, the first edition of the chapter and volume where the famous Gear 5 Luffy is on the cover. I thought this one was really cool. This one only cost me 20 bucks. $20 for this volume I think was a steal. We also picked up some really awesome mangas that just aren't available over here in the US. Again, I think that's where you have to target, is things that were not available in the US. So example, I got myself a first edition copy of the original volume of Parasite from the 1990s. I think this is insanely cool. I think I picked this up for $200, which is kind of expensive for a single copy of a manga, but this is the first edition volume 1 original printing of Parasite, and it's one of my favorite manga, so we had to pick this one up. And we got a bunch of other mangas as well. We got ourselves a first edition volume 1 of Bleach. Again, super cool if you're a huge Bleach fan. I am. Bleach is one of the coolest manga ever. And it's kind of taken off the limelight because it used to be a part of the big three, which is One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. Those were the big three. And Bleach has absolutely fallen behind the other big one, which is, you know, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto are still big in the culture sphere. Bleach has lost its limelight, but I'm a huge fan of it. And this manga cost me, I think, right around 60 US dollars. So again, just a great copy of a manga that I cannot buy over here in the US. Even if I wanted to buy a first edition volume 1 of Bleach, you're not going to be able to find that in the US. Not a Japanese one, at least. And we got ourselves a really cool one. First edition volume 1 of Naruto. One of the best mangas of all time. Really well drawn, and I'm happy to have a copy of it. So that's what you can expect to find in Japan. If you're expecting to find Pokemon cards, insanely expensive, but if you're willing to go off the beaten path and look for other cool collectibles, there's a ton of those available right now. So best of luck on your own collecting journey. And if you're looking to travel, I might have some news on that soon where we might be looking to do a planned group trip. So if you want to travel with me and Rob to Japan, do a little card lounge travel next year, we're planning on something like that where we can go with a small group of card lounge listeners and viewers. And I think that'll be a ton of fun to show you guys Japan and hang out with you guys. Maybe we can drink some sake at a bar in Japan. I think that'll be a ton of fun. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Off the Top, and I'll see you guys next time.